Peace and welcome this beautiful February 2021 morning. The snow is still beautiful out there, and it is indeed a winter wonderland. So I'm bringing this back by popular demand. I had a couple of people ask me when was I going to start doing it again. So I figured would pull a tarot card and an I Ching each morning. And to start off, would like to do a reading from Kuan Yin. Let's see if I can get the book in there. We've had this book before. Kuan Yin, Accessing the Power of the Divine Feminine. And this is by Daniela Schenker. My apologies. And you have to please excuse me. I have a little bit of a cough. So we're going to read from Kuan Yin, number 21. Kuan Yin with the fish basket. And the key word is life. And let's see if I can get this in the shot of the camera. I'm still experimenting with my setup here in my bedroom, which I have to be in the bedroom or else Nala would just want to take over the studio. So we're here in the bedroom. It's a beautiful imagery of Kuan Yin standing on the tip of the ocean. So we're reading from Kuan Yin, Accessing the Power of the Divine Feminine. Here Kuan Yin appears as a young woman. She walks on the beach. She's carrying a bamboo basket filled with fish. Their ever-open eyes represent the eyes of compassion. Fish are also a symbol of prosperity and abundance. Welcome, Christina. So Buddhism teaches that releasing animals that have been caught creates great blessings and prolongs one's life. We should not focus solely on our own self-interest because this will not create genuine prosperity. If instead we compassionately share our environment with others and support them, everyone will experience great abundance. This is a way to create protective and connecting bridges between us. In a Chinese legend, Kuan Yin appears as the girl Ling Chao, who sells fish. A strong bridge for protection from flooding is to be built from her profits, but Long Chao has a requirement. People who buy her fish are not to kill them, but instead release them back into the sea. Contemplation. Tune in to Kuan Yin with the fish basket when you want to experience the web of life so that you may be more respectful of it and to make your own positive contribution to it. Check for things in your home that you're not using. Donate them for a worthy purpose. So that's the message of Kuan Yin with the fish basket, and that is the 21st. And so what we're going to do now is pull the I Ching card for today. And I have I Ching cards by Bonnabelle Wynn. I actually printed these out myself a couple years ago. And I'm going to shuffle them. Welcome, Robin. Thank you. I'm going to shuffle these cards. They're pretty long, but I have long fingers. So I'm going to shuffle the cards. We're going to pull a card today and I figure since I'm not doing a formal in-depth reading, it's okay to use the cards rather than, I'm a little bit more traditional. I like to actually use the yarrow stalks when I do an I Ching reading. Okay. So what card do we have? Number 8. Teamwork, alliances, bonding. So here we go. Let's see if I can, whoops. Let's see if I can set that card up here. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but we will try. Okay. Let me see if I can get a stone here. I have a little rose quartz. All right. So that way you will at least get to see the trigram, and we will work from there. How is everyone this beautiful Tuesday? What's in your cup this morning? Mine is an infusion of yerba mate. I actually have some nettles in there because I do tend to run slightly anemic, more than slightly, but it's a theme of my life, anemia. So I have some nettles, some ground nettles in there, and my chaga for the melanin enhancing. All right, do I have in this book? Yes, I do, because I always like to read the different, the bagua that makes up the hexagram. And so we have the bagua water and earth. Water is over earth, and that is how we create hexagram number 8. So that's water, which is Kan, and that is the first trigram on top. And does that say earth? Yes, that says earth. So water, Kan, great depths, being submerged into the depths, strong movement or momentum, the moon, lunar forces, exercise caution, potential for danger, profundity, the occulted, the esoteric, unseen terrestrial energies. The direction is north. The season in the yellow path is cardinal winter, which we are in right now. The season in Lo Shun 9 halls is spring equinox. The life aspect is career trajectory or life path. Medically, it's related to ear, hair, kidney, bladder, bones, marrow, blood, bodily fluid, lower abdomen, stagnant, toxins, bacterial, viruses, poisons, phobias, fears. Here you go. A lot of what we are dealing with in the aftermath of 2020 and what we're constantly being bombarded with in the media. The chakra is the solar plexus. The animal is the pig and also the tortoise. The archetype, the pilgrim, the seeker. The immortals are Li Di Guai, patron of healers, medical doctors, physicians, invoked for helping the poor and downtrodden. The empowered state of water, hexagram number 29. And then we have that water over earth. Earth is kun. So you have kan and kun. Earth, receiving. And the earth is the 8th bagua. Earth is receiving direction, yielding receptivity, submission to heaven, nurturing force, divine yin, receptive energy, that which yields, material world, earth, wu xing. Direction, southwest. Season, in the yellow path is cardinal spring. Season, Lo Shun 9 halls, summer solstice. Life aspects, Love and relationships, motherhood. Medically is related to the stomach, digestion, spleen, and pancreas. Chakra, center seed, the beginning of creation. Center seed. So I would think that would be probably somewhere just above the navel. I'm thinking of the upper dantian. Dantian. Animal, bull. Archetype, the dreamer, the visionary. The immortal is Lan Chai He. Now, I could be completely wrong on this. Lan Kai He, patron of artists, creatives, intuitives, and peripatetics. Let's try that again. Peripatetics. Empowered state of earth is hexagram number 2. And I want to look up this word right quick. Peripatetics. Does anyone know the meaning of that word? Let's look that up. Peri, P-E-R-I-P-A-T-E-T-I-C-S. I learned a long time ago, there's a saying, never skip over a word that you do not understand, because it really truly could change the meaning of what you're reading. Peripatetic, traveling from place to place, in particular working or based in various places for relatively short periods. A person who travels from place to place. Okay, there we go. So we're going to look at Gua 8, trigram 8, hexagram 8, teamwork, alliances, bonding. To prevent fights, a neutral voice is needed, a voice from the gods. Two stand together, one linked to the other, bonding for strength and alliance. To conquer the great floods and enemies, hold an assembly of the gods on the mountain. Good fortune to come when your intentions are in good faith. A fair warning, do not be late. Do not be the last to arrive. The last to arrive will receive misfortune. Your honor will be tested, but with motivation and focus, one can achieve anything. Seek alliances with those who share your truth. So do not be afraid to reach out and ask for the help that you need. We all need a friend sometime. And we're going to look at Brian Brown Walker's. I love his interpretation of the I Ching, or Book of Change, a Guides to Life Turning Points. And this is a nice little thin book. And I've always said that if you were to only purchase one I Ching book, I would, and you're not trying to do I Ching readings, for absolute in-depth, and you just wanted something quick and inspirational, Brian Brown Walker's interpretation of the I Ching is quite lovely. So, Pi, or P, holding together, or union. Seek union with others and with the sage. Holding together denotes a time for creating union with others in order to complement and assist one another, just as the rain complements and assists the earth, which is an image often associated with this hexagram. In order for your unions to bear the greatest possible fruit, certain requirements must be met. The first requirement for holding together with others is that we hold together with our own inner truth. This means that we adhere to proper principles as a matter of habit, striving always to remain innocent, balanced, and correct. In short, marry the sage first and faithfully, and good fortune will come to all subsequent marriages. The second requirement for holding together with others is that we steadfastly resist the clamoring of the emotional inferiors within. Every union meets with challenges, and if we are not resolute against the effects of fear, doubt, despair, and anger, no lasting success will be possible in any relationship. This is a good time to ask yourself if you are displaying the steadfast correctness and strength of character that are at the heart of all great unions. Finally, it is the responsibility of one who would unite to see that it is possible for others to enjoy union as well. The desire for community is deeply felt by all humans, and it is the shared responsibility of all those on the higher path to make some sort of family available to those in need. In doing this, we pay homage to the sage. So what I see from his interpretation, is that the most important union, first and foremost, is that we have with ourselves, with our sage within, with our inner nature. And that when we come together with others, we are able to be our most authentic self because we know ourselves. And when we know ourselves, we will have proper boundaries. We will have the best to be able to contribute to the situation. This reminds me of this past Saturday. I was involved with a gathering of the minds of sorts. We're putting together a holistic healing retreat center not too far from me, about 40 minutes from me. And so this center is already part of an already existing, somewhat known retreat center in our area. And then we have an influx of these amazing, creative, and soulful young women that are coming together and want to unite with the owner of already the building and the land. And we're going to create, revamp, and put forth a new mission. We're hoping to have a soft opening on Earth Day. We're going to have our first gathering then. And I am just very grateful and blessed to have been invited to be a part of this new venture. And especially at this time in my life when it's gone through a very major transition in life yet again. And so this is going to be a wonderful venture. And when we got together for our meeting on Saturday, I brought my flute with me. I brought my little tiny micro version of the Four Agreements because I'm thinking we're having all of these different, and the majority of the people coming together are female. We have all of these different passionate energies. What's the wonderful foundation that we can have underneath is the Four Agreements. And once I got there, I realized I wasn't alone because someone else brought the Four Agreements as our offering to the group as well. And we want to build community. And, even as it said in that hexagram, in that interpretation, that it's important for those of us who have been on the path that we create a sangha, a family, a community for all of us, for all of our supports. And we can, wherever we are on our path, we're always either a step ahead of someone or we're a step behind someone. So we can extend our arms, our hands in both ways, in both directions. So we have those that we are helping, and we have those ahead of us that are helping us. And it's like this unending chain of help, a love, of being in service to each other. And as Robin said, yes, and especially in these times. And yes, and that is one of our missions. And also, whether it's amazing, wonderful, what we perceive as amazing and wonderful times, and also what we perceive as bleak and, say downtrodden times, it's always a good thing to have union and connection with others. So that even when we get into these trying times, that we can remain strong, all of us, because we all need help. We all need assistance. There was that saying back in the late 90s, early 2000s that became popular, this old African proverb. It takes a village to raise a child. And I also believe it takes a village to live a life. No one is a rock or an island unto themselves. We are all richly and deeply interconnected with each other. Okay, so I am shuffling my deck of Benebell Winds, the Spirit Keeper. Spirit Keeper's Tarot, the Vitruvian edition. This is the second edition of the Spirit Keeper. And Benebell, all of 2020, she was working on the third edition, the Revelation. So I'm so excited when that deck is going to be available. All right, so I think I've shuffled the cards enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. And so I kind of felt led to pull two cards. The Chancellor was the first one that spoke to me, but the Hector as well. So that is the Chancellor and the Hector. So we will look at the Chancellor first. Let's see if I can squeeze that in there. The Chancellor. I know you probably can't see it very well, but I will pull this up. The Chancellor. Okay. So we're going to look up in the little white book, the meeting for the Chancellor. Oh, opened right to it. Nope, that's not it. Hold on one second. There we go. The Chancellor, number 11. And in traditional Rider-Waite tarot, that would be the Justice. This spirit represents rectification measures that counter karmic consequences. It is the spirit guiding you toward balanced judgment and making clear decisions. Do not judge based on appearances. Choose balanced action, balanced words, and balanced thought. When the Chancellor appears to you, it is a call to make the necessary adjustments so that you might restore balance. The angel of justice arrives when all considerations have been duly weighed and the resulting outcome of the choices you've made, your actions, and your speech has now been determined. Key 11 marks the point when the truth comes out. The scales of your life are about to get tipped so that balance can be maintained. Okay, and so I'm going to continue in the medium white book. I love Benebell. She's got the little white book. She has the medium white book. And then she has the full on the book of maps, which is like 700-page book on the cards. The angel of justice is tasked with maintaining equilibrium of the universe and thus the equilibrium of your innermost temple. The scales of your life are about to get tipped so that balance is maintained. When the angel of justice wields in what the angel of justice wields in her right hand appears as a sword, but serves as a pen. When the chancellor is also the primordial spirit of the scribes and of the scripture memorialized after experiencing the turning wheel of life. The chancellor works through scribes and scripture. The spirit who works through key 11 is the personification of discourse that achieves harmony, justice, and reveals the truth. The imagery depicted in key 11 is the angel seated in the hall of two truths, weighing your heart against the feather of Ma'at, the Egyptian goddess of truth and justice. Thus, when the angel appears to you, it is now your turn to have your heart weighed against the feather of Ma'at. Key 11 marks your moment of divine accounting for all that you have done and how it shall weigh toward an outcome. And as I was reading that, what sort of popped into my mind, because she has the sword, and that sword also functions as, let's see, I'm trying to start a fire. The sword also functions as a pen, and right before you're about to get your heart weighed, here's a little tip. You ever heard of morning pages? It comes from a book called The Artist's Way by, I think it's Julie Cameron. And morning pages are basically have your journal and everything, your journal and pen right by your bed. As soon as you wake up, whatever stream of consciousness, flow of thought you have, just write down, just like vomit your words all over the page. No contemplation, just write out whatever absurd, insane, profane, sacred, beautiful, upside down thoughts that you have on a piece of paper and get them out of your system. Help you to probably face some things that you've had buried, and helps to your heart to be lighter. So we have the Hector was our second card, the Hector, which is 5 of Swords. Let's put that there. And I will try to have a different setup the next day. All right, so I'm going to just read from the medium white book, and we're going to look up the Hector. So let's see. We're going to look into the realm of 5. 5 of Swords. The Hector. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. And that's from Niccolo Machiavelli. Hector was the greatest warrior. Hector was the greatest warrior of ancient Troy. And through that namesake, the Hector is the spirit of indomitable strength, but it is indomitable strength at any cost. The 5 of Swords marks a defeat of your opponents by unfair advantage, and yet never was anything great achieved without danger. The 5 of Swords personifies self-interest. The card can denote an imbalance of power in the situation at hand. Heed also, the Hector is the spirit of that which, upon first impression, is predicted by all to be victorious, but who will end in defeat if you do not learn the important lessons. The Hector is here trying to impart to you indomitable strength does not come from lording your power over others. It comes from using your charisma to sway others. He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against. So there you go. So get out that pen and start writing. And maybe even while you're at it, write a love note to yourself. Welcome, KJ. Welcome. So the cards that I'm pulling today is our general reading. It's just our general pulling a card to give us something to contemplate. However, I am available for personal sessions. You can see the links. I believe there should be some links below in the video. Alrighty, I've been here long enough. It's been 31 minutes and I don't want to get to 32. So you guys have an awesome day. And remember to write to yourself, to know what's going on with yourself, to complete your union and work on your union with you. Because that union with yourself is what's going to make other relationships work. It's going to make other relationships healthy. And that union with yourself and knowing thyself and staying true to yourself is what's going to keep you out of unhealthy unions. And that's a lesson that we can all remember. Is to know ourselves, to listen to ourselves, to hear ourselves, and to trust ourselves. Have a beautiful day. Until next time, peace and great bliss. And thank you. Until next time, bye-bye.